giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live. We are streaming live on YouTube, and of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to today's show. We are talking long shots with a shot. Stay with me. I got 3 players. It's going to be tough to make this roster. Maybe 2 of them. But we're going to talk about why they can, if and only if they show out at training camp. That's right, man. We have started our countdown to camp. Can't believe it's here. Plus, in the roundup, we got Cowboys news. They're dipping their toes back into the UFL bag. And listen, I ain't judging because it's been working. So we will dive a little bit into the 4 players they worked out of the UFL. This is going to be one of those diehard shows. And what I mean by that is, y'all, I always talk about it. We have casual fans. We have diehard fans. We have Cowboy degenerate fans. This is for the Cowboy degenerate fans because we're sifting through the bottom of the roster and we're seeing if we can find somebody worthy for 2024. So all my Cowboy degens, shouts out to you, a.k.a. the Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad!
Hey, don't take it as a bad term, because I'm a Cowboy degenerate my damn self. If you are here June 12th, 9 o'clock, it shouldn't be that late, on the Central Time, and 8 o'clock Eastern, and 7 o'clock Pacific, you are Cowboy degenerate. It is what it is. And I love you guys for being here with me, man. Shouts out to y'all. I saw in the chat, and yes, man, rest in peace to Jerry West. I didn't know if I wanted to bring it up or not, but as a Laker fan, right, and what he did for the Lakers, not just as a player, but for me, Jerry West, and what he did as a general manager, right, as a front office guy, it was more for me than as a player because I didn't watch. I know I like to laugh and kiki, I'm old, but I didn't watch Jerry West. I know the logo. I know who he is. I know the history and the importance and the GOATness of him, but not the player. The general manager and what he did for the Lakers was amazing. And man, to see him go, just shows that you just never know, right? Maybe they did know. Maybe he was ill and he was old, 86 years old. So maybe he was on his way out, but I wouldn't know that. And just every day or every week, it feels like we're losing somebody I grew up watching or knowing, and it just brings you back down to earth, doesn't it? Brings you back down to earth. So rest in peace to the logo. I know people are talking about changing it to Mike and whatnot, but man, that's the logo right there. What I wanted to kind of get back to, and how you turn the page on that, somebody in the chat, and just a bit of a life update, somebody in the chat said, when are me and Vach going to be doing our shows on the regular? I'll say to that, stay tuned. Stay tuned. Things are in motion behind the scenes, and I mean like quite literally in motion behind the scenes, to be bigger and better than just me and Vach. So we will, trust me, we working. We working. When one door closes, another opens. So keep your ears plugged to the ground. At some point, probably this summer, we'll have some sort of an announcement to make. But things are being put into motion right now so that, we're not just coming back and doing the same old thing. Not that that was a problem, because I personally believe we had one of the best shows out there. But we're going to turn up the heat a little bit. So keep your ears plugged. We got some things. Come on, Cuban. I look over the chat. Cuban, hey, Sky probably watched Jerry West's whole career. Man, we getting to the goddamn morning roundup.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It is time for.
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Let me talk to you.
You ain't ish, Cuban. Let me talk to you, Cowboys Nation. So we got a little bit of Cowboys news yesterday, huh? Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. Dallas, they're dipping their toes back into that UFL bag. And honestly, I ain't mad at them. They're 2 for 2 so far. And not just 2 for 2, like, oh yeah, this worked out. 2 Pro Bowlers. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. So they've worked out 4, it's now called the UFL. They combine XFL, USFL, and I love that. Defenders. Interesting on the defensive side, and interesting it's not the defensive tackle. But they've worked out Michigan Panthers linebacker Noah Dawkins, St. Louis Battlehawks linebacker Willie Harvey Jr. All right, I watch a lot of conspiracy documentaries and things like that. Willie Harvey Jr. sounds like an assassin name, doesn't it? If you know the theory behind the people who assassinate famous people, they always have 3 names. Willie Harvey Jr. That sounds like an assassin from 1725. DC Defenders cornerback Garyon Conley and 2 DC Defender. Okay. DC Defender cornerback DeAndre Baker. Those last 2 should sound familiar, but let's start at the top here. Noah Dawkins played in the NFL. A lot of these guys did. 3 seasons for the Buccaneers from 2019 to 2021. I think the highlight player of this group here, though, is Harvey Jr., the assassin. I kid, he's not an assassin. He was the UFL leading tackler with 78 in 2024. This comes from .com. As well as a linebacker leader in tackles for loss and fumbles forced. I want to say he won like defensive player of the year. I'm not sure. Somebody can correct me there. When I say defensive player, I mean in the UFL. Probably wrong, but I thought I saw something like that. He was an undrafted guy that went to the Browns in 2019, and he played a couple seasons there. Then he got released, and here he is in the UFL trying to make his way back to the NFL. Then there's the 2 high-profile names from the NFL. Garyon Conley was a 2017 first-round pick for the Raiders. That might be one of the worst. I think that was the year they had a trio of picks, and they just missed on all of them. The Raiders suck at drafting. And then DeAndre Baker, who another first-round cornerback for the Giants back in 2019, played good his rookie year. Had a pretty solid rookie season. Then right after that, maybe everything got to his head, and he started getting in trouble with the law. Got arrested. Got put on the exempt list, and it just went downhill from there. So my question to you, Cowboys Nation, who of this group do you think has the best chance of being signed if they haven't been signed by the Cowboys yet, right? Because we can get that breaking news. It can happen during the show because they did a workout. Now, I believe I saw somewhere the UFL players are not allowed to sign just yet, so we probably won't get the breaking news. But of those 4 guys, Garyon Conley, DeAndre Baker, Willie Harvey Jr., and Noah Dawkins. Look, I'm not trying to quiz anybody. I didn't watch these guys. So basically, I'm just telling you to use your Cowboys knowledge of maybe where these guys would fit. And for me, it is Harvey Jr. I get that right? I want to make sure I don't want to mess up his name again. Yes, Harvey Jr. And the reason why I think it's Harvey Jr. is because I feel like the Cowboys still could use some experience depth at that position, right? And if he was the best linebacker in the UFL, then give me this quasi-veteran. I mean, he's a veteran, but he played a whole lot in the league. That can come in here and add more depth to that position. I know Damian Wilson is here. That helps and whatnot, but you really have just 2 veteran backers in that room and really 1 that you can for sure say is going to play. No one knows. Damian Wilson could just be here and be a camp body. So I think it would be Harvey Jr. for me. JFK shaking somewhere. Big Sarge says DeAndre Baker. Didn't they? I want to say they brought in. Did they bring in Garyon Conley before? Maybe 2 years ago. Corner's interesting too, though, right? Because you could use another veteran boundary guy. Me, I'm hitting up Gilmore and I'm saying, hey, man, you all right? I know you're recovering from your injury. You probably don't want to really care about OTAs and the early portions of camp. You good, though? Because we love to have you back. The Cowboys had like $12 million in cap space. It's not going to cost that much for Gilmore. So I would definitely be keeping Gilmore on speed dial. Maybe Gilmore's asking for too much. Maybe they have no interest, and that's why they're bringing in a DeAndre Baker and whatnot. But for me, I'm not even entertaining a Baker and Conley. Gilly, you good? Gilly Locks. 68, one boy. He was always a rental, right? Like, he was always going to be a rental that was supposed to help you get over the hump. Not a hump player. Remember last year I said I don't believe either him or Cooks were hump players, but together you could argue that was a hump move. So I got Harvey Jr. Baker could come in and push some people. I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't watched any of these guys, so I can't really speak on that. But again, I think you have 5 corners, right? Let's work backwards. No. You got the top 3 in J. Lou, Diggs, Bland, and you got the rookie. So that's 4. After that, yeah, I suppose there could be some competition there. Yeah, talking blindly, really strange to me that defensive tackle. Maybe there wasn't a lot of good defensive tackles. Maybe that's the reason why. I feel like they're just completely ignoring this position. It's really strange to me. They're bringing in everybody else, receivers and corners and linebackers. No defensive tackles. We're going to talk about one, though, here today. But before we get into that specific player, I've got Harvey Jr. as my guy. He would be a long shot to make the roster. But we're going to talk about guys that are already on this team that are long shots to make this roster, but they have a shot. And the first guy I'm going to bring up, a little bit forgotten, right? Like Malik Davis feels forgotten, no? Just a little bit. Or do you call it a fall from grace? Because as a rookie, when Rico Dowdle went down early in that season, he stepped in and he stepped up. When his number was called to run the rock, catch the ball, whatever, he showed up. He showed flashes. And then the playoffs get here. And for whatever reason, once Tony Pollard went down, they didn't turn to Malik Davis to run the ball. Ezekiel Elliott couldn't really shake anything loose. So it was, hey, man, Ford, put us on your back. And he didn't do it. He could not finish it out. When the defense played good, he couldn't put the team on his back. It would have been nice, though, to see if maybe a guy like Malik could make something shake. But it didn't happen. In 2022, he had 38 attempts, 161 yards, a tutty, 6 receptions, 63 yards, and had 11 total first downs. Again, if you really go look at just play-per-play basis, he was pretty productive. He didn't get a lot of carries, a lot of touches, but he was productive with them. Then 2023 rolls around. He gets 0 rushing attempts. He didn't play. I don't even know if he played a snap on offense. He only played in 3 games in general, and that was special teams. So why does Malik Davis, or why is he a long shot, but has a shot? Again, I don't even know if we're going to do a State of the Union running back because we talk about them, it seems like, weekly. But the room, ladies and gentlemen, the room outside of Ezekiel Elliott and Rico Dowdle. I almost said Tony Pollard. I'm so used to saying Zeke and TP. It's going to be weird not saying Zeke and TP this year. Outside of Zeke and Rico Dowdle, I think it's up for grabs. And that means, yes, even for the bottom of the roster guys like a Malik Davis, who at one point we felt had some type of momentum, then it was thwarted. There's rumors, right, of potentially him and the running backs coach having a falling out, but that guy's not here anymore. He wasn't here last year. Skip Pete not here. And he didn't get a chance to get out there and showcase anything. Now, to be fair, right, Rico Dowdle was much better than Malik Davis in the preseason and in training camp. That much is true. We came on here for a couple games and we were reviewing film, and Malik Davis wasn't that great. Rico Dowdle was better. And he'll probably better again, and that's why Rico, I think, is your RB2 currently as it stands on this team with no other players being added. So he's going to have to ball out. You know, I'm not saying that this is a loaded room. It's just a heavy room with players. So if he doesn't stand out above Royce or Deuce or hell, even the young buck, Nate Pete, they might swap him out for Pete, meaning, hey, look, you know, Malik, you've been here for a few years. We know what you are. You're a run-of-the-mill running back. If they're saying this, we'll take our chances with this young guy and we'll move along. We'll put him on the practice squad. So it is a long shot, but because of the room, he still has a shot. Do you think Malik Davis makes the roster? Do you think Malik Davis makes the roster? Ink said, how does he make the roster? He's going to have to play well on special teams for sure. But he would have to show out as a running back first, right? Like he showed, I think his rookie year, he could play special teams. He talked about, I should have put the video in here. He talked about one of the things he wanted to do was get even better on special teams. But I don't think special teams is going to save him. I think he's going to have to outplay Royce and Deuce and these type of guys. Yes, says Gregory. No, says Jeremy. Unless someone gets hurt. Well, that's true as well. Toxic, he says no. Sin City, no. Big Sarge, no. Seems like a mostly no's here. Michael K says yes, Malik will make the roster. Why keep him if they don't like him? Says Tex Rob. I mean, maybe they like him enough to keep him around for camp and to compete. But I think last year they liked Rico more. And to be truthful, I think Rico is the better runner. I do believe that. Rico to talent is not necessarily an issue. It's never been that. It's Rico depending on him to be able to play week in, week out. We got to remember last year he got hurt in week 5. And that injury, the hip contusion, which he had a hip injury the previous year, or a year or two ago, that hip contusion bothered him a bit. Then the ankle, and I don't think they trusted him enough to give him a whole bunch of carries, which is why I have him as a low-end RB2, high-end RB3. And he should just be a part of a 2-3-headed monster as opposed to being a guy you get the ball to 15 plus times. He'll wear down. That's just facts since his college days. Church says Zeke, Rico, Hunter are locked. Yes, I feel that as well. So that's why I believe he's a long shot. But he has a shot. Jim said he needs to play. Brandon from Franklin Football said I don't see him making it. Oh, I don't know if I gave my answer. I don't believe he makes the team. So again, just because I think he has a shot doesn't mean any of these guys I'm saying are going to. Now, one guy I might stand 10 toes on, but these guys have a shot because of the room, because of maybe where they're at in the depth chart, in their situation, right? But he has to ball out. He absolutely has to ball out, and if he doesn't, and I don't mean if he was good. I don't think good is going to cut it. I think he has to be better than that. He was not good last year. He was below par. Maybe he wasn't all there mentally. Maybe the momentum from his rookie year again got thwarted in the postseason and just didn't recover from it. But he's going to have to do it this year. This second guy, I teetered on including him here But the more I looked at the situation and the player, the more I said, okay, is it a long shot? Yes. Does he have a shot? Yes. But just like Malik Davis, he's going to have to ball out. And I'm talking about Earl, Mr. Bombastic, Bostic Jr. This is year number 2 for Mr. Bostic Jr. I wonder how many people actually grew up calling him Mr. Bombastic. I know I would have. So he got a futures contract back in January. So they liked him enough to bring him back to see if he can continue to develop, because he was always going to need development. I remember looking at him as a UDFA spotlight guy, right? And one of the things you came away with liking was, hey, man, this guy's an athlete. He's got good feet. He moves well. But he needed to get stronger. He needed to be more physical in the run game. He wasn't great sitting down, right? AKA anchoring. So there were a lot of things he needed to improve on. And I never expected this guy. There's some people that say, hey, we better watch out for Bostic, man. He's going to be the... No. He got out there in preseason and he did not look good. Wasn't the greatest preseason for the kid. That gave up 2 sacks and 3 pressures and only 50 pass block attempts. Y'all, that's like a full game's worth. And you're giving up 2 sacks and 3 pressures. Not great, right? Thus, he was running to the practice squad. And that's fine, right? He was always going to be one of those long athletes that at the tackle position that needed to get some offseason peanut butter. Well, we are in year 2. He's had a chance now to learn the new coach, second-year coach, offensive line coach, what he wants to do. Another year to get stronger and another year to compete. So why does he have a shot if he's a long shot? I'm not thrilled with the backup tackle situation. Think about it. You got Matt Waletzko. Yeah, Matt Waletzko would really have to just go crazy, and if he go too crazy, he's gonna hurt his shoulder again. So is Matt Waletzko still a string bean? You know, he's got some of the same issues. Long, has good feet, but he has no upper body strength whatsoever, and probably because his shoulder's messed up. I don't see it with Matt Waletzko. Chuma Edoga should not be your left tackle if something happens, but it feels like he is right now. You absolutely should want somebody to beat out Chuma Edoga at tackle. Now, if you want to talk about Chuma Edoga being a swing interior guard, whatever. But I watched the film of Chuma Edoga all year. I don't see a guy that gives me any type of confidence for anything. He's not strong. He's not, I don't know, man. Was he serviceable at times? Sure. But I would love for one of these young guys to beat out Chuma Edoga. So is there a little bit of bias there? Sure. But I think it's appropriate bias. We should want Chuma to be off this team because somebody beat him out. If Chuma is your certified swing tackle, well, then all these young guys we like behind him didn't live up to any damn thing. Awesome Richards. Is Awesome Richards moving back to tackle? I sure hope so. I would love to see him develop there at tackle. I brought this up to you guys a while ago, though. Why bring back Chuma if you believed in Awesome Richards? Maybe insurance, protect yourself, whatever. And again, it's not like Chuma's back on. He's on a vet minimum deal. He can easily be cut. But Awesome Richards, another guy that's probably going to have to get stronger and show Solari a little bit more. Which takes me back to Mr. Bombastic. Well, let's go. I don't feel great about. Chuma can be beat out. Awesome Richards, a big giant question mark. He has the upside, though. Way more upside, I think, than Bostic did. But we don't know. They brought in 3 offensive linemen, for crying out loud, and brought back Chuma Edoga. So is it a long shot? Sure. But does he have a shot? Yes. There is no... Who was the Terrence Steele? Let's call it. There is no Terrence Steele as a swing tackle from 2021. There is no Jason Peters on this roster. There's no all those veteran guys they brought in, the Irvings and whatnot, right? So in reality, swing tackle's open. We're not talking about it a lot. And you know why? Because Tyron Smith ain't here. Tyron gone. And for years, we've always had to look at swing tackle, let's be honest, as a starting type of position. I used to say it all the time. The Cowboys' most important position outside of quarterback to me for years was swing tackle. Who could go in there and step in for when Tyron goes down? Not if, when. Now, you got the young buck and Tyler Guyton, who doesn't show any injury history. Break glass in case of emergency. Tyler, he can slide out there. So it's not the same. And maybe that's why we're not talking about swing, but I think every team should still value swing tackle that important. And the Cowboys right now, right? Just Chuma the guy. Awesome. Well, let's go. I don't think there is anybody there. So if you are in the swing tackle competition, you technically have a shot. Yay or nay on Earl Bostic Jr. I said shot to make the roster. Maybe making the roster might be a bit much. Chuma needs some milk, Swain. Bro. All you got to do is go look at, hey, shouts out to Mark Holmes in the building. What? Wait, what? Is that the real Mark Holmes? What is that about? Hold on. Never mind. Not shout out to that. Listen, I don't know who that is. Mark Holmes, you said something a bit suspect there, so I don't know if that's the real Mark Holmes. I don't want to put that. I'm going to lean towards, he has more of a shot than maybe I'm giving him credit for. I'm going to say he has more of a shot. I just don't believe in well, let's go. And now you're talking about between him and Richards. I like Richards as a tackle. I would like for Richards to get a little bit stronger. Other than that, I like Richards out there at tackle. That's who we be competing with. It's a fake. That's why I don't understand that, man. What is wrong? Like, what is wrong with y'all? Fake pages, and that's a whole different discussion, man. This social media is out of pocket, bro. There got to be a study to these people. I would love for these people to do one of those, remember on like NBC, CBS, whatever it is, where they interview a snitch or something, and it's the dark face, so you can't really see them, and they morph their voice. Let me see if it's morphing. They morph their voice. I don't know if this is being morphed or not, but do something like that and have conversations. Is something psychologically wrong with y'all to make fake pages and things like this and go around and what is wrong with y'all? 60 minutes. Yeah, give me a 60 minute. Get like 10 of these people, these weird people on there. There's a whole bunch of them on Twitter. There's a couple of them here. Have them sit down, give them their 15 minutes. Well, you're not loved enough. Do you need a hug? Our community is a good community. Just be you. We'll embrace you. My bad. I didn't mean to go on this tangent, bro. It's just, I fell back a bit. Maybe it's because of the dead period on social media, because it's just getting, this is getting crazy, man. It is, this generation weird, bro. Anyway, Earl Bostic, I'm going to say I have him leaning towards more of having a shot to make this roster. My bro Lee said no friends, must be. My bad, I ain't mean to go on a tangent. Hey, INC, I ain't even do-rag. That what do you want to call that? I don't know what you want to call it. I'm chilling. The first 48. Goofy ass trolls. Understand y'all, man. All right, my last guy. I didn't mean to go on the tangent here. Denzel Daxon. If there was a player that honestly is more than a long shot, I go with Denzel Daxon. And I'm going to be honest with you. Maybe the only reason why I put him here is just because I wanted to shine a little bit more of a spotlight on the guy. Because let's be real. These three players are not going to get talked about a lot during camp and maybe during camp, but leading up to camp. Right. And that's the point of the countdown to camp. We want to kind of elevate some of these high-end roster battles and then some of these low-end guys that maybe could do something. And Denzel Daxon is an interesting one. First off, we know about the defensive tackle room. It's extremely thin. It's razor thin. So if you show anything, and I mean anything at camp, and you play defensive tackle, you basically should be a shoo-in to make the damn team. Let's just be real. But beyond that part, he fits. He fits what Mike Zimmer likes to do, right? He fits the mold of that type of defensive tackle. That's a run-plugging big to take on the blocks. Now, you'll notice when I brought him up with his player profile there, I got a question mark for his weight. And the reason why I have that there is because it seems to be a bit confusing about where he's at, right? Depending where you look. If you look at the Cowboys and ESPN, Brugler, these guys have him at 304. But if you go look at his college, he's listed at 320. And we know colleges tend to up you. If you look at his body type, he looks bigger than that too. So I think with Denzel Daxon, the weight doesn't matter. Here's why it doesn't matter. Because he plays the way that Mike Zimmer wants a 300-plus pounder to play. One thing for sure, two things for certain. He is 300-plus. Where he falls above that, doesn't matter. Would you love to have one of these 330 type of guys? Sure. But at this point, given how light we are in the room, just give me a guy like this. Daxon played the Robin to Johnny Newton's Batman at Illinois. Johnny Newton is a first-round talent, ended up going in the second round due to injury. I consider him, though, a line of scrimmage player. And what I mean by that is you're not going to see him play behind the line of scrimmage a whole lot. But he's very sound at the line of scrimmage, be it controlling a gap or disengaging and making a tackle. It's just, you can go look at the stats, you can go look at film, whatever you want. He's not a guy that's going to play in the backfield. Doesn't have a whole lot of, no sacks. Doesn't have a ton of tackles for loss. But what he's going to do, right, he's going to open up the lanes for your guys behind him. He's going to control the line of scrimmage down the line. Well, Sky, can he bring anything beyond the run part? Nah, I'm not going to say this guy is anything beyond a purely early down run guy. Don't think he offers much upside from a pass rusher. Don't see the athletic ability, the quickness to beat his guys in that way. Maybe strength, pushing guys back, things like that, but that's not even evident consistently on film. He is a line of scrimmage. He's a line of scrimmage, gap control, block control type of player. And you need kind of a just dirty, do the dirty work type. I don't think the Cowboys have a lot of that in that room. So when I talk about long shots, he was, again, I struggle with putting him here because I think he has a shot. I don't think this is even a debate. It's not a debate. And between him and Justin Rogers, I mean, look, that's probably your only two guys. Sky, what about Mazi? I don't know, man. I think Mazi will clean up things, but let's just be real. I'm at the point where I'm not giving up or anything. This year, 1 year for Mazi. The injuries, the weight loss, the mental part, Mazi's put in this category over here where, hey, Mazi, get right, get on the field and build momentum back up. I can't blindly say he's going to do this or that. I don't know. So to me, I look at Denzel Daxon, look at Justin Rogers as your only two young, real, run-heavy type guys. Carl Davis is a Jag. He's a journeyman dude. I don't even know if he makes his team. So that's kind of crazy when you say 7th round pick, undrafted free agent, or your two interior dudes. That's just where we're at right now. Now, what they got going for them is this scheme can make lower level guys look better. I just don't want to fall into the Rod Marinelli mode. Hey, man, it's all good. My coaching and my scheme is going to make these orphans look great. You still need to get some dudes. Maybe one of these dudes turn into a dude. We'll see. Mazi on the Ozempic. Where they say his weight's back up? 305? See, Nick says I need to see it. Are we talking Mazi or are we talking Denzel? I don't know, Tyrone. Tyrone said he's a better 3 than 1, talking about Denzel. I think he's body type as a 3. I don't think his style is a 3. You feel me? Like most 3 techs go about 6'2", 305, right? They float around that size. But his play style is anything but that. And then most 3 techs are usually more quicker. They're penetrating. They can be sack artists. This guy is a 1 tech in a 3 tech's body, if that makes sense, Tyrone. But he has the 3 tech look, right? 6'2", 304, 305. You'll see most 3 techs top out at like 310, 315, unless you just one of these animals who can go 320 plus and still maintain that type of quickness. That's how Zimmer like him in the late round DTs. Shots out. Now this is the Shaq from Viking fan. Hey, I don't know about that, Shaq. Now, everybody, look, 1 text can be had in the late rounds. That's for sure. Now, but you would know there's more than I do. But when I went back and look at the fat boys that Zim had, he did have a lot of these kind of just minuscule guys. Where was Linval Joseph taken? Was he late round? I don't know. But he turned into a dude. They spent money on a couple other dudes too, Dalvin Tomlinson and Michael Pierce. So, he liked dudes. Pause. But no did he. He likes to have guys in the middle. Pause again. You know what? I can't talk football with y'all no more, man. He likes to have defensive tackles that are strong and go a little bit heavier. Jesus, man. I don't know, man. Like, hey, listen, at least I'm not, who was it? Travis Kelce. Did y'all see what Travis Kelce said yesterday? Jeez. Travis Kelce wilding. I'm not wilding, man. I'm just trying to talk football. But y'all done cornered everybody. Look, man, it is what it is. Let me just shut up. Let me read what y'all saying. The Guru said, I did not like hearing Richards not working out with Duke. Oh, wait a minute. Not working out with Duke. Oh, okay. You're talking about Awesome Richards. Ain't he working out with Duke? Man, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm telling y'all, go look up what old boy said. Like, you got it. Come on, man. Skull said the ones that, so Shaq, keep saying Skull, Shaq the Vikings fan, the ones we drafted were in the back of the draft. That's probably fair. But the ones he signed, he spent some money. Michael Pierce, Dalvin Tomlinson, Linval Joseph, those were high-end guys. So it's obviously clear he would love to have those type of dudes, and then we'll develop some depth guys behind him, which is why I would have loved to go out and sign these type of dudes. Chill, T-Dub. Chill. That's what Zim like. This is crazy, man. Doing content in 2024 is a whole different ball game. So Awesome Richards not working out with Duke. Interesting. But it seems like everybody else is. Denzel Daxon. Are we all on the same page here? This guy, I hate to use the term shot. I think he makes the team. Are we all agreeing here? I think he makes the team. Yeah, I haven't seen him play. I'm just basing this thing off of the room. The room tells me you need this type of player. And if you don't have this type of player, you are going to make things a little bit more difficult on Zimmer and these linebackers. By default, beats out Carl Davis. I agree. What if Carl Davis just goes crazy? Tyrone said, are you talking about, we brought him up a while ago, Tyrone. The Alabama kid, man, we talked about him. Whew. I want to say as soon as the Cowboys hired Jeff Skanina, and I might even still have it in my archives here. Nah, I deleted it. I had it in my archives a while ago, but yeah, okay, you are talking about him. Yeah, he is on an expensive contract, but again, he's one of those players I would like to, Jonathan Allen, I would pay. I think he's that type of difference maker. His defensive line coach is here in Dallas. Washington going to trade with it. Let me say this. Dan Quinn owe us one. That bull sugar he put out against Green Bay, you owe us one. You're already taking all of the, granted, I don't care. You got to be honest. You're already taking all the players. Pick up that phone. There's got to be some type of good relationship between Dan and the Cowboys, because we know Steven don't have a lot of good relationships with a lot of general managers out here. But Jonathan Allen would be a home run. Yes, I'm trading. What do you want type of situation. I think he's worth not multiple first round picks or anything like that, but reasonably, I'm willing to pay is what I'm getting at. Alpha, we had this kind of debate on when it was me watching Jeff Kavanaugh. Alpha Mason said, would y'all be surprised if Zeke doesn't make the roster? I would be extremely surprised. There's no chance, if that's what you got, no chance in hell Ezekiel Elliott is not making this team. Not happening, bro. Brandon from Franklin Football says, important question. Do we know what size or traits the front office looks for in 1 or 3 techs? We did I think we do personally. Oh, you say front office, so I'm going to, if you don't mind me, do you mean, I know you said front office, but do you mean the coaches? Because the front office shouldn't have a say in that. It should be up to, hey, Will McClay, this is the type of player I'm looking for. Go find that guy. Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones don't know jack shit about nothing in regards to that. So Dan had a type. Zimmer has a type. We pointed that out a while ago, right? Fat boys. He likes 320, 30, 40 pound space eating fat boys. Years ago, or previous, Dan Quinn, Rob Marinelli, they didn't care for that at all. They wanted penetrating defensive tackles. So you're saying, I know they shouldn't, but they do. So you do believe the front office, so you're saying the front office has the type defensive coordinator to be damned? I'm going to slightly disagree, because they usually consent to the defense coordinator. When Rob Marinelli was here, Rob, what do you want? I don't care for big guys. They got nothing but smaller guys. Dan Quinn gets here. Dan Quinn did something the Cowboys hadn't done for a long time. Drafted big one techs. The Cowboys hadn't drafted a guy of that size, talking about Bohanna, and then the next year they followed it up, since like 2000. And then now we got Zimmer. So I think they do acquiesce to the defensive coordinator, as they should. It'd be goofy for, I know Jerry's general manager, but it'd be goofy for Jerry and Steven to say these are the type of players that I want to put on the roster. You ain't the football guys in that manner, bro. Relax. You want to run the money, that's fine, but relax. Bishop Kane, when I see you on the line, I got to bring you in because sometimes you got something on your mind. What's up, brother?
All right, what's good, Sky? How you doing, sir?
I'm good this morning. How are you?
Man, I'm too blessed to be stressed.
I feel you, brother. What's on your mind?
Hey, man, I really just listening in, but since you hit me up, man, I just want to say, as far as that defensive tackle, I just feel like, man, we going to find somebody of some type of quality depth after this training camp and Oxnard and all this, that, and the thing. Somebody getting cut that's better than almost everybody on this team somewhere. We just got to stay down.
Yeah, if there was a position that I could bet some money the Cowboys bring in, it's this one. I know running back's a popular one, but I can realistically see them saying, you know what, we'll just roll with whoever wins, in camp at running back because they got a whole bunch of bodies. At DT, they don't have the bodies and they don't have the players, so they need help.
That's the big difference. Yeah, and then I feel like running back, they going to wait until just like they did with their wide receiver position some years ago with Amari. They going to kind of see if it worked in the season. They ain't going to, I don't know. I know how the Jones drag their feet. They'll tell you it's working. It's going to work. Well, if you ain't see us break off nothing good, well,
are you talking about running back?
It's so damn good.
I couldn't make out what you were saying. Are you saying they're going to do the wide receiver by committee at running back? So they'll do running back by committee?
Yeah, I said that I feel like it's going to take the failures of that wide receiver by committee to happen for them to go after a running back.
Well, see, running back by committee is a legitimate thing. Like there's historical.
Yeah, but you usually have by committee. That's cool. Like, but you have to have like you've been saying all offseason. Where is the juice coming from? We don't have that.
Fair. Right. So the process, I don't fault them. I'm all for a committee approach. But once you start peeling things back and looking at the room, maybe you need to add. I personally need to add something else there for sure. And will it be the whole Amari situation? I think we brought this up last week where, all right, they ran the committee, didn't work. We're going to go sign or trade for somebody. Man, I don't know, bro. You know why? This is why I feel like this could be a situation where they just are stubborn. I think they're done with the high-end running back types. I think they're done with it. I think they feel burnt the last two times between Zeke and Tony Pollard. And I think they're going to go more on the cheap route. Now, they can still go on the cheap route and bring in a guy, but if it won't be the Amari route where they trade a first, second, or pick to get a top end running back. For instance, you won't see them do what San Fran did. San Fran said, "Look, we got a good running scheme. We're doing pretty damn fine on the ground, but we're going to go trade for the best damn running back in football." And it took their offense to the next level. You won't see Dallas do that.
Yeah, for sure. I was just on the cool though. The only thing that I hate about the Cowboys, that you're speaking on Zeke and Tony, is the only reason that didn't work out for them is because they took so long to be an actual running back.
Facts.
So that's the only Zeke. If y'all would have been running back by committee when you first paid the man, he might still have some tread on his toe. On his tire. And Tony Pollard is the exact same thing. Y'all failed them as an organization, as a coaching staff. That's not the player's fault. That's your fault as a front office and as a coaching staff.
I mean, you preaching, bro.
But that's all I got, though.
Preaching.
That's all I got, Scott, man. I'm going to listen in for the rest of it, man. I appreciate you, though. But I just hate how people be on Zeke and TP like they didn't get failed. Like the Cowboys failed a lot of players, man. Let's be real. We fail people a lot.
100. Appreciate you, Bishop Kane. I mean, from day one, if you guys don't mind me going back a bit, 2019 Rams game. Interesting because Zeke's Dak's rookie year was Rams game. Rams game. I had this janky, terrible video. I can't even pull it up because it's on a whole different Skywalker page, and I don't even know if it's still there. Terrible video I did, but it is what it is. Breaking down Tony Pollard, and I'm like, I don't need him to be 2-3 years in the league. He needs to be in tandem with Zeke now. I don't care if you just paid Ezekiel Elliott. In fact, they didn't even pay him yet. This is when Zeke was holding out. I'm sitting here like, hey, you play the Dolphins and the Giants. They suck. If Zeke want to play that game, we can roll out. Who was old boy still here at the time? Alfred. They had another back on the roster. You can roll out those dudes and let them eat. And maybe Zeke would change his mind. They ended up signing him. Cool. Didn't change my mind. I said, let's roll with Tony Pollard being the guy with Zeke. Boy, they acted like Tony Pollard was a leopard. They didn't want to put the ball in his hand. Next year rolls around, same thing. They didn't want to put the ball in his hand. Zeke gets hurt. Tony comes in, steps in, and every time they put the ball in his hand, he was doing something. Oh, yeah, here we are in year 3. They finally start to put the ball in his hands a little bit more, but still not in a real tandem. And then we heard, and Zeke came out and admitted it, hey, man, I'm not really trying to let him get on the field like that. And that's where the Cowboys failed them. I get it, politics, that's what happened. And that guy upstairs, hey, 21 need the ball. As a coach, you got to say, screw that. This young man needs to get the rock with Zeke. It was so bad. You had Zeke saying, man, no, get out of here, TP. I'm going to go out here and limp on the field and then limp out of bounds. A warrior. Zeke is a warrior, playing through what he plays through. But somebody needed to save himself from himself. TP was right there to do it. Then finally, 2022, they treat these guys as a legitimate tandem, and it was amazing to see until we got to the playoffs. Tony Pollard gets hurt, and the rest is history. So I'm with you, man. Maybe Zeke has a little bit more left in his legs had they done it right away. And it wasn't like there wasn't evidence to say, hey, man, maybe we should go more towards tandem and committee because look around the league. Nope, not Dallas. Dallas was still living in 1995. Insert flashback music. But yeah, man. I hope they learn their lesson, but I also hope they don't go too far left. Because we talked about this before with the back position. Again, every week is a running back conversation. It's so funny. There is truth to it being a devalued position from a player standpoint. The run game is still valuable. Thus, there is some value to a player who has a special trait or talent. So what I don't want to see is, and again, I'm going extremely left here, is, oh, we're just going to have a bunch of Malik Davises in the backfield. No. We can relax on that. So we'll see how they approach it. INC said coaching staff weird. I think it starts up top, man. You got to know what you want to do. You got to know how you want to do it. And we talked about this earlier in the week, maybe last week. It feels like every year, every other year, we're changing that up. There's never really a consistent philosophy. Shaq said, I like the idea of Kenneth Walker. I do backflips. I think Kenneth Walker, I look at him as a hump player. Somebody in the comments, and shouts out to you because, you're commenting and you're watching, said, well, how can I be for Kenneth Walker and then have question marks about Rico Dowdle? Well, first of all, I think Kenneth Walker is a much better player. I explained that in my video. I think Kenneth Walker is a potential hump player. This dude has had a better career in college, a better career in pros. He's just a better individual player, in my opinion. Number one. Number two, Kenneth Walker played in 30 out of 34 games. So it's not like he was Rico Dowdle literally missing multiple seasons, having hip injuries that linger on, and then his actual game has been affected because of the injury. So I don't think these guys belong in the same sentence. So if you're listening, I'll give you my explanation again. I think Kenneth Walker is here where Rico Dowdle is here, and he's worthy of that type of, I think it was a 3rd round, 4th round pick, I said. I mean, come on, y'all. Yeah, I'm absolutely giving that up for Kenneth Walker. All right, let's talk to B real quick. From Brandon from Franklin Football. I'm going to get up out of here. What's good, B?
First off, Scott, how you doing, brother?
I am doing fantastic, sir.
That's great to hear, man. We made it through halfway through the week.
Halfway through it, baby.
I got a big day of activities planned, man. Today's my wedding anniversary.
Hey, let's get some flames in the chat for Brandon from Franklin Football, man. Happy anniversary to you and your lovely wife.
Yes, sir. Made it 3 years. Let's begin. But here's the thing, Scott. I asked that question earlier. Do we know what the front office looks for in a 1 or 3 tech? Defensive interior defensive lineman in general, right?
Sure.
Because while I was coming up with a theme for a video that I'm gonna do either tomorrow or Friday, I went ahead and looked at a 5-year sample size of guys that they took in the first 2 rounds, at those 2 positions. And here are the guys that we found.
Wait a minute. They only took 2. Mazi and
5 year
Tyron.
sample size in the first 2 days. Excuse me, first 2 days.
First two days. Okay, because I'm about to say they don't draft defensive tackle high.
Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously we got Mazi. And then at the 3 tech position, we got Osa in the 3rd in 2021, Chauncey in the 3rd in 2021.
Who was
a
defensive end, by the way? Chauncey Golson.
Excuse me?
Chauncey Golson, defensive end. So I don't know if I would say he was a drafted 3 tech. Just that's interesting.
Well, yeah, but they kick him inside. They kick him inside and for a good portion of his career, and I think he's working inside now.
Okay. I wouldn't consider him a DT. Is all I'm saying.
Fair enough, and I can concede that. But I guess the elephant in the room is Tristan Hill. You know, the last guy that they spent probably big draft capital on because he was Amari Cooper was their first round pick in that year.
Mm-hmm.
So Tristan Hill was their first pick in the 2019 draft.
Yes.
And then you got Neville Gallimore in 2020.
Mm.
So you have a wide. We see that most of their guys that they tried to pick, you know, and once again, Chauncey, we can toss someone out. But most of the guys that they picked in those first 2 days are 3 techs, and a wide variety of body sizes, skill sets, and so on and so forth. You know, we can throw darts at the board and we can hit the buzzword. So that's why I thought of the question: what do they exactly look for in frame and traits?
So we are the players that you all mentioned, right? This is why I bring it back to coaching. They expand over 3 different regimes. In 2020, Mike Nolan is the one who drafted Neville Gallimore. In 2021, Dan Quinn drafted the other guys you mentioned, Osa, and you doing, Chauncey Golston, but he drafted those guys. In 2019, Rod Marinelli drafted Tristan Hill. And then in 2023, the last year of Dan Quinn, he drafted Mazi Smith. So I think it all goes down to what does that specific defensive coordinator want? And Rod wants a penetrating 3 tech. He wants that next Henry Melton on his defense. So he got that in Tristan Hill. If you look at Dan Quinn, Dan mixed it up. Dan was like, all right, I want to get me this 3 tech, right? I want this 3 tech in who was it? Osa. But I also understand we need bigger bodies. Bohanna, Big Country, and then Mazi. So Dan mixed it up. So I think it depends on that specific coach as opposed to the front office, because the front office, they kind of have to acquiesce to what those guys want so that they can have the dudes to run the specific defense they want. And what was your conclusion when you did your research?
So I think that, obviously, as they've expressed numerous times, they're living or dying by Mazi in the interior. We can't confirm whether that is, a positive or a negative just yet, because not a single down of live game has been played yet, right? But then we also can say that, the last successful, in my mind, 1 tech that they drafted was Big Bo. So I think that we kind of have a trend of success, and I think we just kind of have to nurture Mazi in the same way that
it's generous.
I guess Bohanna saw success. If my words are coming out correctly.
Yeah, success is very generous. And I'm a Bo fan, but a year and a half on the team that's tough. Tough to call it successful.
He was a 6th rounder, though. I'm trying to keep things relative. I know we as Cowboy fans value our draft picks, but he was a 6th rounder, and he saw significant start time. So I would consider that a success.
Significant start time or play time? I mean, he played, but then he was up out of here the next year. We just differ there. I don't know. I like Bo, but if you off the team after only a year and a half, I just don't know how it's considered a success. But sure, yeah. I mean, and that, again, Bohanna, you said a history of success. That's the only guy him in Big Country.
In the last 5 years, he's really the only one.
Right. So there is no history of success.
And that's what I'm kind of getting at. They don't really have an established history of success at the one tech position. So they have to look at the last guy that they really, I guess, hit on and try to emulate what they did with him.
Well, that defensive coordinator is no longer here, and that defensive coordinator actually asked Bohanna to do more 3-tech things. So that was really interesting too, right? But again, Dan, I think he got impatient with that position. He came in and brought in Brent Urban, drafted Bo, drafted Big Country, Mazi, and felt like he just wanted to be more penetrating, at that position. Where I think those dudes would thrive better under Mike Zimmer.
Yeah, I can get that. I can get that. I do think that the things that Zimmer asked from his interior guys are more conducive to Mazi's success, because he's going to ask him, instead of asking him to pick up all of the laundry, he's going to ask him to just pick up the towels. If that analogy makes sense,
I get what you're saying.
He's going to ask him to do one thing and do it well, and that's a great starting point for somebody who hasn't gotten off of the starting line yet.
Yeah. Tell you what, it's a position that, we've been waiting for a long time. I'll argue since Jay Ratliff, to have a dependable stud week in, week out in that middle. And it's starting to turn into the safety position. If it took a while, but now finally at the safety position, we feel good about it, but we have not been consistently dominant or good on the interior for a long time. Yeah, Leroy Glover, and we followed that up with Jay Ratliff, and we were a bit spoiled, and then it was done.
Yeah. Now, see, normally, if we had a team that took place in all three aspects of the offseason, I would say, okay, if you don't really have success in drafting those guys, you go and get that piece in free agency. But, that's not the way that we operate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, unfortunately. These guys are always a day late and a dollar short. I bet you at some point next year or this year, I don't know, maybe the Mazi year, they're going to be like, yeah, look, see, we value defensive tackle. And yes, they took Mazi. And I thought Mazi would be better. He was not. But I also have to understand, year one, even no matter how good your defensive tackle is, he's not going to be as good as maybe a more prominent defensive tackle already in the league. So they should have paired him, I think, with a dude in free agency to let him kind of develop slowly. And
I think they kind of did that in his first year with Big Hank.
My brother Igor Oshansky.
This year, man, they throwing him off the cliff. They doing him like Leonidas.
and I like Hank, but I don't think Hank should have been part of that rotation, not the guy we're leaning on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. I think that the bevy of issues that Mazi had in his rookie year caused them to lean on Hank more. If he didn't have to deal with that stuff, and I try to tread lightly over that stuff, and use my words carefully. But if he wasn't dealing with so much, I think that they could have schemed him in a little bit more instead of scaling him back.
Well, he wasn't performing well.
With so much, they had to lean on Hank. Repeat that, please.
He wasn't performing well. His tape wasn't good. So it couldn't really it couldn't give him more because he wasn't doing good with what he was given. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So hopefully this year he plays better. He showed some flashes, but not nearly enough. But hey, B, let me get to this last caller, brother.
Yes, sir. Hey, peace, guys. Much love to you, brother.
Appreciate the call. Make sure y'all check out Brandon from Frankly Football on YouTube. 316, what it is, what it do. We're going to close out the show with you.
Hey, I just want to say I appreciate y'all, man, because, I listen to you, I listen to Vach and Mark Holmes and a whole lot of y'all listen to. And I appreciate y'all because I can remember back before we had all this content on social media.
Yeah.
And it was kind of rough trying to get any information around,
Right.
So people so I remember, the 70s and the 80s and, just trying to get information. And I love the way y'all watch film and stuff and break it down and just analyze each player, And I just wanted to call in to say, you know, I appreciate y'all.
Man.
And I'm subscribed, and I love the content y'all be putting out.
Thank you, brother. That type of sentiment is what we're trying to get from all of, I call y'all Cowboys degenerates, right? I'm trying to get from all the Cowboys fans, because I've said it before. I started this because I didn't think we were being covered correctly. And I know this isn't the most popular show to be talking about the 58th and 59th and 60 man on the roster, but it's things that real Cowboy fans are interested in knowing about. I want to know about the undrafted free agent. I want to know about the 6th round pick we took. I want to know about more than just the quarterback, head coach, and whatever drama that's being put out there on a carrot stick for the casuals to jump at. I feel like we have a lot smart. I say this a little lightly because we got a big fan base, but I feel like we have a lot more smarter fans than that. And that's why we do what we do. So thank you for the kind words, man.
Yeah, man. And like I said, I appreciate y'all. I watch y'all. Yeah, I even watch Mike Fisher, you know, so I get all kind of content, and I just love it, man. And keep
There's
up
a
the good
variety.
work, man.
There's a variety of content. It's like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get. There's a whole bunch of different styles. So appreciate it, brother.
And plus, y'all don't shy away from the negativity, you know, from, hey, this player just ain't going to cut it. You know, sometimes, you know, you get content, well, you know, you got to give him this opportunity, that, and this, but y'all going to say, hey, he's not moving the way he should be moving.
Yeah,
and just y'all can be straightforward with.
We got it. Yeah, I feel like that's the best way to do it. Hey, this is what it is. I always talk about. I like to talk about what is. With that, we can talk about what can become. You know, but this is what it is right now. And if he doesn't do this or do that, then won't be here. That's just kind of how I see it, man. But appreciate the call. Appreciate the kind words, my friend.
Man, I appreciate y'all. I'm Robert Smith from Wichita, Kansas, man. I appreciate y'all.
Let me put you up in here, Mr. Smith. Mr. Robert Smith from Wichita, Kansas. All right, brother.
Yeah. All right.
Good stuff today, man. Shouts out to you, Calvin. He said, got here late, but always enjoy the content, Sky. Thank you, man. Thank you. I will never not feel humbled when I hear that, man. So appreciate that, and I'll continue to keep going hard. If you enjoyed today's show, please hit the virtual currency, and that is the like button. Share this thing with friend, family, and foe. Let them know where to go to get your real Cowboys content. Now, tomorrow, I will be on with Mo at night, not in the morning, but at night. So you still will get Sky, just we'll be getting him with as a guest, as opposed to running his own show. So make sure you lock in on prime time. It is our annual crossover that we do. And I don't know what we're talking about, so that'll be fun. Mo will probably hit me up and let me know. But we do this, I think every year we've done it since we started this thing. Maybe the second year we started it. And we try to do it at least once a year. Kind of fun crossover where I get a chance to be a guest. I said this when I was just a guest on, it was me, Vach, and Jeff. And I wasn't doing the producing thing. I'm like, hey, I love just jumping on being a guest, right? So I'm going to be a guest with Mo. That'll be fun. And then Friday, I'll be back on. We'll probably be joined by Pat. And we'll talk more Cowboys football with you guys if everything goes great. Pay CD, maybe we'll get that news. I doubt it, though. I feel like that'll be way closer to training camp or in training camp. Either way, I'm with you, bro. Pay the man. Or, as my guy would say, pay that man his money. When is what, Lee? Tomorrow. If you're talking about when am I going to join Mo, tomorrow, time Mo show, 8 o'clock? He's probably more prompt than I am. So 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Right? Text says, Skylaw Vach has made this offseason bearable. Man, appreciate that. It has not been the greatest of off seasons. But y'all here, y'all sticking with us. All right. With that said,
push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
D Shift says, Sky, you gonna bring out Mo's gangster. I ain't never see it. I gotta be careful. Hey, look. Mo in Mexico. Mo's gangster might be different than our gangster. Mo might have that cartel gangster in him. He ain't 4 foot nothing, but you gotta be careful because them cartel gangster, boy, they know what they do. I'm out of here. Love y'all. Peace. Mo say something in that Spanish. I don't know what he said. I might have to get a little worried. Medellin. Hey. Nah, that's Colombia. Never mind. I ain't pissing Mo off. Oh, yeah, Sky? Go look outside. What they call them, the Cesarios? Mo, what's that noise in the background? Oh, them is just shotguns. This is just guns going off. It happens all the time.
Bomb Squad!